Hello and bonjour, and more importantly, bonne année, Happy New Year. It is a grey, wintry day, and I'm standing outside a classic car repair shop on an industrial estate in Normandy, because we are starting the year by checking in on an old friend of the channel. A couple of years ago, you may remember that, with the help of you, the viewers, I managed to track down the last surviving example of the old Cityrama Paris sightseeing buses. A bus once described by transport expert Tim Dunn as the world's most bonkers bus, and I was delighted to find it was still alive. Just. The vehicle had been saved from scrap in the early 2000s by a private owner, who then kept it hidden in a secret location for about 20 years, before it finally made an extremely rare public appearance in June 2022, and that's when we saw it. But almost immediately it was taken away again for a complete overhaul and restoration, a process that was going to take at least 4 or 5 years. So today, 2.5 years later, I thought we'd come and see how it's doing. And first question, where exactly is the bus? Well, parts of it are here. The Cityrama is currently in about 100 different pieces. The vehicle has been completely stripped down, so that each individual part can be restored, replaced, repainted, whatever needs to be done. Let's be honest, I don't really know what I'm talking about here, so let's talk to someone who does.
Donc là, je suis avec Jimmy.
Jimmy de Normandy, où je m'occupe de refaire tout ce qui est moteur et culasse de tout type de véhicule. Et donc là, j'ai refait le moteur du Citroën Cityrama. On avait un autre moteur pour pièces, et avec les deux, le but c'est de en refaire un comme neuf. Donc il y a certaines pièces que j'ai dû refaire en neuf, comme les segments, les pochettes de joint, on en avait. Après, j'ai dû réutiliser pas mal de pièces que j'ai dû rénover, notamment les cylindres, les coussinets, on a pris les meilleurs qu'on avait. On a essayé de sauver un maximum de pièces d'origine.
En tout cas, ça a l'air magnifique.
Now, although only 3 Cityrama sightseeing buses were ever built, the fact that they use the same chassis and engine as the much more numerous Citroën 55 truck means it's relatively easy to find replacement parts for those bits of the bus. However, when it comes to the frame and the bodywork, the parts of the Cityrama that really make it unique, that's going to be a whole other challenge. So, next question, what have they done with the rest of the bus? Well, I've now been taken to another location a few kilometres away, and as you can see, there's still a lot of work to do. One thing I hadn't quite picked up on when I made the last video is that the projected 4-year restoration process couldn't actually start until they'd raised a certain amount of money. And they did eventually raise enough money, with a bit of help from the French public, the guy who saved the bus in the first place, and you, the viewers of this channel. But as a result, the restoration work only really began in autumn 2023. Anyway, here is Philippe to tell us what has been done and what still needs to be done.
On a tout démonté, on a tout répertorié comme il faut, et après là, on l'a complètement déshabillé, mis à nu, juste sur ses roues encore, parce que c'est plus facile de bouger. Et là, on a sablé tout ce qui est soubassement, pour pouvoir que le métallier commence à découper le car pour refaire tous les éléments qui sont hors service, quoi.
D'accord, donc il va falloir carrément couper...
Déjà, on va couper le haut. Oui. Le premier étage, on va le descendre et on va faire tout l'ossature du bas, parce qu'on ne peut pas faire... l'ossature du bas s'il y a du poids dessus, quoi, je veux dire. Et après, le haut, on va le faire par terre. Et après, on va greffer le haut dessus. Et voilà, quoi, je veux dire. Mais ça, avec quelques mots, ça paraît simple, mais c'est assez compliqué.
Oui. J'espère que les gens vont comprendre, en tout cas.
So the first stage of the project is complete. The engine is done, the gearbox is done, and the chassis has been completely sanded down and repainted. The framework is obviously the next stage, and the idea is they're going to make it not just as good as new, but actually better. The original vehicle did not have very good rust protection, I don't know if you can tell, so that's something they want to improve when they remake it. And then once the framework's done, they still need to do all the glass and bodywork and redo the interior, and they're even hoping to get the old multilingual radio system going again. So there is still a long road ahead for the Cityrama. and the non-profit organisation in charge of the project still need extra funding if all of that is going to happen. But the dream is that in 3 or 4 years' time, you will be able to come to France and ride around in a beautifully restored, beautifully bonkers bus. And if you'd like to follow the progress of the project more closely, I'll put a link to the official Facebook page in the description. It is in French, but it's mostly pictures, and for anyone who would like to help out with a few extra euros, I'll also add a link to the official donation page. On which subject, a huge thank you to everyone who already donated. I think you're responsible for something like 1/4 of the total funds raised so far. So I'll try and bring you another update in a couple of years, and hopefully a year or 2 after that, with a bit of luck, I'll be making a video actually on the bus. And as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Yeah, hello? I'm sorry, what do you mean we've got no more budget left for the channel because someone spent it all on a model bus?